Go live.
What's up, everybody? I am Jay. I'm with Universal Rocks. Hopefully you can hear me. This is the first time we've done something like this. I'm in a huge open area of the factory, so my voice is probably getting absorbed, but hopefully you can hear me. And here in a moment, we'll get started and kind of talk about what we're trying to do with these Fridays.
Hit refresh.
So I'm just making sure if you guys have any questions, I'm able to see them. So give me a few more moments. Not that there would be anybody in here yet, but you never know. So I hope everybody's enjoying their Friday. Hopefully you got some really cool stuff planned for the weekend. All right, so what we're looking to do with these Fridays is kind of discuss some of the things that we're working on, some of the things that we're capable of doing, maybe some prototypes that we don't typically show. Because with any business, there's so many moving parts. It's too hard to always be on social media. It's too hard to always be sending out emails. And when you're working on a team as talented as what Universal Rocks is working with, everybody has their own strengths. And at the end of the day, there's really almost no time set aside for stuff like this. So we're going to be doing these as many Fridays in a row as we can. There'll probably be some Fridays that we're unable to do, but in any rate, towards the end of this video, we will also show product, whether it's garden, pool, reptile, or aquarium, or any oddball style item that we're making or project that we want to get off the floor. We're going to go ahead and sell it for a reduced cost. Still the same product, but a reduced cost, and in turn giving you some value of purchasing our product that really is taking up space for various reasons, whether it was a prototype or whether it's not completely retail ready, or whether it has a slight variation in color that we just don't offer. Anything that happens in that style of business, it can either stack up or you can sell it. And that's where a lot of people do the liquidation. Amazon does their offloading thing. So we're gonna try to get towards that. So some of the things I wanna talk to you first about is, we've been working on coral, a lot of saltwater stuff, whether it's for public aquariums, whether it's for private aquariums, restaurants. We're working towards bettering the saltwater decor that we never had. So to start off, we have to have this live in our presence for us to do the molding process. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you how we do that because, well, then we wouldn't have a business. Everybody would do it, right? Well, and you could try it, but it gets dirty. So, you know, we've got starfish, we've got clams, we've got sponges, we've got live rock that we're working on. So stuff like this, we can do in our aqua material and attach it, or you can buy it individually and it would sink. Or customers will call and say, we want a complete reef background, whether it's for a cylinder aquarium where you're doing a full insert, or whether it's a 26-foot long aquarium where you're going to put sharks in it. We can do anything. The only two limiting factors for what we do really is time and money, because chances are you're going to think it. Stuart Dunn's going to figure out how to do it with the team he has created, and then we're going to make it work. But sometimes it's, you know, kind of one of those weirdo things where it's just too expensive for an end user. So we're working on some coral stuff. We also have underwater wood products that are from cypress down to tree branches, tree stumps, trees of all sorts. So if you go to our website, you click on fish, from fish, you can find all the wood products. You can also find these for reptile. And if you wanted something like this in your garden, you can put it in your garden too. This one, however, is for aqua, so you can see that there are some rocks underneath to help it sink. It is completely vacant, so you can use it in a planted aquarium to put plants in, or if you have fake plants, you could do the same thing. Put a bubbler in here, whatever the case is, you can create an underwater world without having to to run out into the woods and hopefully find exactly what you're looking for. Another, this is a prototype I want to show you, but this is not a real whiskey barrel. This is not a real wine barrel. It is a thought process from Stuart Dunn to make a cooler. So with his son Ben, the team in production, they're working on bettering an insulated replica of a wine barrel that's not going to cost you $300 to keep your drinks, whether they're adult styled or they're children friendly, cold for at least 12 hours, or warm. I don't know why you would keep hot chocolate in something like this, but I mean, if you were trying to keep warm, the goal is to have it there for 12 hours as well. So we're not close, and there's reasons we're not close. You know, there's still some variation in the metal bands that would be in a traditional whiskey barrel. That is unsightly for somebody to get, especially when you're using a real whiskey barrel. Kind of has that distressed look. So we're achieving even the small metal screws that are inside the metal bands that go around the barrel to hold it together. I mean, we're even able to get those. We just got to figure out this. And we're working closer towards it. But if it's something you'd be interested in, let us know in the comments below. Hey, look, I'm interested in a barrel, and what would you expect to pay for something like this? That's kind of the hardest part about doing things of this nature, is because, well, nobody is doing them, one, and two, what do you price it at? So which leads me to kind of talking about cross-product placement. So this rock and this rock were designed for pool and ponds. They were designed as dispersion rocks. To disperse the water, you put it on top of the waterfall, and it would disperse the water exactly where you wanted it to go. Well, being an aquarium guy, being a guy that likes small animals, you can also use these rocks in your aquarium or a reptile, amphibian, vivarium, paludarium, whatever the case is. You can use these. Even in your garden or your front yard, you can use these to cover, you know, smaller boxes that are in the ground for your sprinkler system or a drainage area. And you would never know because you weren't looking for dispersion rocks within the pool or pond area. So if you look at dispersion rocks, you can get yourself some really cool rocks you can use for breeding for fish, you can use for basking areas for certain reptiles, or just accenting a lower, you know, area of your aquarium or your enclosure for your small animal. And it will hold up in the heat, it'll hold up in the humidity because, well, it was designed for water. So if it's designed for a pool and pond, typically those are outside, right? So you can use these the same way. So you can find these on the website under dispersion rocks, and there's a bunch of different sizes. So if you are looking for something like that, you can easily pick those up on the website. Another thing that we're capable of doing is we've always had, as Stuart calls them, telegraph poles, but I don't remember ever sending a telegraph as long as I've been alive, so I've always called these telephone poles, and we can make a telephone pole for anything. You can do this for a walkway and tie some rope to it and attach whatever you need. You could put this on the outside of a building, or I'm originally from Connecticut, so Mystic Seaport is really big for nautical themed stuff. This is huge, round pools, maybe cordon off an area where you're trying to create something that's a little bit more natural than the velvet rope and the metal pole. So we can do stuff like this as well. And you'll also see stuff behind me that we're able to do. I mean, we can do background panels. I think the largest one that comes just straight off is like 18 by 7 foot, so 18 foot long by 7 foot tall, but we can make it even bigger. We would seam it together, ultimately lose the seam in the pattern, you'd never see it. So if you had a warehouse like this and you wanted to cover a wall or a man cave or a bathroom, or maybe it was an outside fence area, we can do that as well. And so we've been able now to do palm trees. So this, the real one you don't see on camera is over there, but tell me in the comments, does this look real? I mean, when we're making this stuff, sad to say, but we're making it because we think it looks cool. We have no idea what the end user is going to think unless we're doing a custom piece where we have photos and things like that. The other thing, there's just a larger telegraph pole, but we were working on some stuff for Brian Barczyk. I don't know if you've checked out his stuff. He's got the Reptarium. It's out in Michigan. He also has a very, moderate-sized YouTube channel of over, I think he's close to 2 million subscribers. And he's got a lot of this stuff in his Reptarium, which is really neat. And so this was one of the things that we had used in his Reptarium. And it's as simple as having rock with trees. So the possibility for us to do stuff in aquariums, reptile areas, or whatever it is, whatever the application is for, we really have the capabilities of doing it. Our product stands the test of time outside. The product can withstand the heat. It can withstand the cold weather. It is designed to be, and I hate to use this word, but virtually indestructible. And virtually just means that there is a slight possibility, but the likelihood of it actually being ruined is very slim to none. However, if you have a foam product and you run it over with a power wheel, I'm sure they'll, pop or crack. But if you use reptile material or you use our aqua material, the chances of you damaging this material or the product you have of that is super slim to none. The way we color it, we don't use any paints. We don't use any, artistic airbrushing for any of our aqua materials or any of the materials that would come in contact with water, extreme heat and cold, because, paints typically don't withstand the weather the way we color would. So think of shingles. They sit on houses in the most extreme conditions, whether it's in Texas, Washington State, Maine, Florida, Nevada. We're coloring very similar to the way the shingles are colored. So where shingles could withstand, 15, 20, sometimes 30, 40 years before you really have to replace them or you see a slight fade, our product's doing very similar stuff. Now there's some one-off cases where it may slightly fade, but it's not gonna chip, crack, or do it on its own. Something's going to have to help that happen. So if you ever receive one of our products and you're like, oh man, it's falling apart, there is a very, 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 very small chance that is happening. So reach out to us. We can walk you through talking about maybe why it looks that way, because some of our material, I'm gonna do my best to get close to the camera to show you some things. I'll show you on this tree stump. So I don't know how close I am, but when we make something like this, when we color it out of the mold, it comes ready, we let it sit. There may be some small places, and I don't know if that shows up on camera, but there may be some shiny spots. Those shiny spots will actually dissipate once it's in your aquarium or your reptile enclosure, just because of the natural weathering it will take on. But the moment we get it, it's not perfect. Nature never intended something like this to be perfect. So when you do get something like this, you may see some shiny spots. Myself, I have a ton of this stuff, not only in my yard, but I also have it in my aquariums. I have it in some vivariums, and never once have I worried about that showing up, because once water hits it, once plants hit it, once the animals all over it, it will actually disappear to your eye. So when you're buying something, understand that there may be slight imperfections, but they're a part of the natural process of us making them, which gives them even more character for the projects that you're doing. Because if this was perfect, it would look fake. So if you found something like this in the wild, there is going to be holes where the bark is chipping away. There's going to be different colors and variations to the tones. It happens. It was never intended to be perfect. So, a red car at the same lot from the same maker, red is red is red is red, and the only time it varies is if you get a different car from a different manufacturer. That is not how we do it, because we're not painting. We don't have a specific process. It's all done by hand. So we can do custom colors, but we can never replicate something 100% identical to the last item. So understand that when you're purchasing anything, whether it's for a pool, it's for a pond, aquarium, reptile, it will never be 100% the same. And if you ordered in January of 2018 and you're hoping to get the same color in January of 2025, rest assured you will not, because we're unable to replicate the same thing. However, the idea, the process, and the way it was intended is, if you do that, there is going to be variation, and it's going to look more natural in the setting that you're using it. I'll give you one more example before I start talking about some prices of some product. Is I have a 75-gallon aquarium where I have, I think, 7 or 8 different colored rocks. 7 or 8 different colored rocks. Nobody can tell. I have rocks from all different rock families, so to speak, from Universal Rocks, and you would never know, because once it's settled, once diatoms and algae build up on some of these things, or it gets that natural weathering process, it looks amazing. It looks exactly the way you intended to make something. Not too perfect, but natural and for you. So let me move some stuff so we can get some product up here to tell you a little bit about before we give you a price. And then this is how it'll work. It's not an auction. I'll give a price. It will be included with shipping. So you won't have to worry about figuring out what shipping will cost. This is, however, only included for the lower 48 states of the United States, to include Washington, D.C. If you live somewhere overseas, or you live in Canada, or Hawaii and Alaska, Puerto Rico, any one of the U.S. territories, or an affiliate of the United States in some way, shape, or form, we will still ship to you. However, that is not your price. We'll have to do a quote, and you'll just pay what it would cost. There's no inflation to it. So I hope that is in fairness to you. And that's not fair. I lived in Hawaii for 9 years, and getting things off the internet is not very fair. So I understand. So the idea is, it will literally be first come, first serve. If you comment on this video, I don't know if this is actually uploaded to YouTube, and if it hasn't, hopefully we'll get that worked out for the next Friday. But if the comments show up, if you say, I want that specific item, you are the first on the list. Please, if you want something, be serious about it. If you don't, it's not about wasting our time, but you're ruining a chance for somebody else to get what they were actually after. So do your fellow human a favor, and if you're actually wanting it, say, yes, I want it. Please contact me, or email us, info@universalrocks.com or jason@universalrocks.com, and say, I want this piece. And it literally will become first come, first serve. If I see the email first, that person will have first rights to it, and then I'll go back down the list. However, there's no holds. There is absolutely no, I'll put a deposit and pay you in 2029. The rest of it, it is first come, first serve, full payment, all inclusive to shipping to the lower 48, to include Washington, D.C. Everyone else in the world, to include anybody that's in Mars right now watching, you will have to pay what it would cost for us to ship it. And we'd probably have to call Elon Musk or somebody to get it to you. That was a corny joke, so let's move on to selling some of this product. So today we really only have aquarium stuff because, well, we're just starting this and we have to start somewhere. So I have some saltwater stuff. However, it can be used in freshwater. Please, if you see something for saltwater, it could be used in freshwater, and freshwater stuff that we make could be used in saltwater. So I've got like this little kit. It's got a, I don't know, a unicorn colored starfish. We were messing with stuff. I have no idea what this would be called in a while. Maybe like a, I don't know, I'll call it a volcano sponge. It's got some greens, some blues, some whites. These aren't perfect. These are us working through it with prototypes. I have an actually really cool clam. I forgot to get a ping pong ball to make it look like I had a pearl. And then this I'm gonna show you before anybody says they want something. I wanna show you all the imperfections. So this does have some pieces that were chipped off in the process of making it. However, those will dissipate, and they'll actually bring a little bit of character to the aquarium. As you can see, this is actually pretty good. There's a couple of shiny spots, but I mean, that happens and those will go away. The starfish doesn't have to be put underwater. You can put that underwater, but I think some little girl or boy somewhere in the world would enjoy this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe. And then this little piece, you can even hollow that out if you want and put a bubbler underneath, or sit a bubbler in there and drill a hole there, get some bubbles out of this. This would be a cool piece to really any aquarium. So all of these, inclusive with shipping, would be 50 bucks. So 50 bucks for all these pieces. I have no idea what we would sell these individually, but it would be much higher if we were attaching them and they were right on to a background for a saltwater aquarium or a specific job. So I have a ton of these pieces that are lying around, and I don't want them lying around anymore. So 50 bucks for this. If you want it, contact us, leave a comment. If you don't, it's no hard feelings, because at some point it will go somewhere, whether it's to an aquarium that wants some stuff, or whether it's somebody that walks in and we give them the same type of deal. They just maybe get a little bit better because they don't have to pay for shipping. So if you are local, don't hesitate to pop in. Sometimes we say give us a call if you're looking for something specific, but don't hesitate to pop in. So this is a background feature rock. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It sinks. It does exactly what it was intended to do. There's really no reason for me to go closer to show you. This is a wonderful item for anybody with a reptile enclosure, an aquarium, that is looking to accent the back wall without all of the space being taken up by a full background. This does have the holes cut out of it, so perfect for any fish that enjoys going in and out of caves or rocks, and it can be accented with anything. So retail, this is $212, and we'll do 120 bucks shipped. 120 bucks shipped. This Stuart's probably going to kill me because he's supposed to price these things, but so 120 bucks shipped. It's been sitting here. This was made for a customer. We cut the holes out for them, and they decided they wanted to go a different route, and while they already paid for it, we get them the other one, and then this one sits for a future project, and nobody has ordered something similar that we can get that in their order. So you'll never see us ship anything that's been in someone else's aquarium. It may come wet because we do pressure wash a lot of the dust, which I should probably tell you, when you get product from us, doesn't matter what product it is, when you get it, it may be dirty, okay? That's not going to hurt anything. You can wash your hands, you can pressure wash it. We do it with 4,000 PSI, very close, and it doesn't affect the material. Please do not use dish soap. Please do not use hand soap or anything of that nature, because if you're putting it in an aquarium, you're only going to hurt your fish. The only thing I can see happening is stress, and maybe you shifting everything around and cleaning some stuff. You may cause slight pH movement. Just as long as it's not drastic, your fish will be fine. So make sure you keep your tank oxygenated properly. You're watching your fish, and you rinse this off the same way you would rinse anything else off. This is, I'm really bad at this, but I think this is Deco Rock 34. So Deco Rock 34 is another cool piece that could be accented to the back wall. Fish can swim behind it. You can stack things on it. It's perfect for fish to graze off of, maybe even to hide out in these little caves. Great for, I mean, really any small reptile. You know, a bearded dragon can come up and lay on top of this if they wanted to. Leopard geckos, house geckos, really anything. This is designed, however, for an aquarium, and I forgot how much we were going to sell this shipped, but I think it was 40 bucks shipped. This is, Stuart, please don't. I hope I have a job on Monday. I really do. But we want to get it. We want to get it gone, and we want to get good product in somebody's hands. So this has just been sitting on the shelf because we had made a bunch for a shipment, and we made a couple extra, and most people can't find this on the website. So Deco Rock 34. And then we'll do a full-size background. This is a 47, and this is a weird cut one. It's 47.5 by 17.75. So 47.5 by 17 3/4. This is a crevice background. It already has its own, I don't want to say end caps, but it's finished edges. This would be okay in a 75 gallon. You'd probably have to lift it slightly, maybe with some substrate. It would be okay in a 90, but you're gonna have space, so you're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. Or if you have smaller stuff and you wanna get this for a steal, you can cut it. However, crevice sucks to cut. Yes, I refuse to cut it myself, and the person behind the camera right now would kill me if I said we were gonna cut it for free, because it can be difficult. But if you got power tools or, you know, like a flamethrower or something, no, I don't think a flamethrower would do it. But now, if you have something to cut it, it should work. This normally retails, I know, at $212, but again, I forgot the number to sell this at because I didn't write it on there. But hopefully the duns don't kill me. $100, $100 shipped. And again, a lot of this stuff is not gonna last. It's not a sales tactic. It's people that are watching it local can come in and get it for the same price, minus a little bit of shipping, and then you folks are getting a kick butt deal. Also, if you own any local fish stores, or you know anybody that owns a local fish store, or a pond, garden, pool installation, maintenance, man, even if you're looking for a side job for residual income, Universal Rocks can help. We can help by getting your store product that your customers have never seen, maybe changing your store into an experience as opposed to a place where we know we're about to spend all of our money. Make it an experience, and you can sell more product of anything that you carry. If you're a pool installer and you want to make some extra cash, our waterfalls are great for that. If you're looking at maintaining pools and you want to make some extra cash, most of our waterfalls can be installed, if you've done it before, and all the hookups are already there, probably in less than 3 hours. And you can really make some good side money. So there's potential for anything. There's potential for us to get you great products on Fridays. There's potential for us to give you great information on Fridays. And there's potential for businesses to make more money to help them stay afloat. Local fish stores are dying because online is taking over. And we want to help. Universal Rocks wants to help. So whether you're in Texas or you're in Istanbul, we want to help your local fish store. So get in contact with us. Let us know what you think about these Friday videos. Clearly YouTube cannot see it, so at least Facebook got to. And we'll work on that for the next one. If you've got some friends, share this with them. Let us know in the comments some things you want to know, some things you want to hear. Yes, be patient till the next Friday, but we'll do our best to get you the information that you need to make a purchase or to do some DIY work with our product. But we thank you so much. It's Friday. And as we're going to make some cool outgoing message, keep rocking. Social media, keep rocking. What happened to YouTube?
It's still going. There's just nobody there. Hi, YouTube.
So if it was working, I apologize for saying it wasn't working, but you got all the information anyways. It's our first one. Don't hate us. The first one always sucks, right?
I don't know how to end it.
That's the same problem I have with every live video that I've done. There should be like an X somewhere.
Oh, there it is.